When I was a kid, I was told this one story that always intrigued me. The nearby Lake District was once disguised as a farmland with tarps and floating cows. I later discovered that this was a wider scheme across Britain to disguise and deceive German reconnaissance missions during World War II. Deception is the method of making the enemy believe that something is false. And there are so many of these operations, schemes and defensive techniques all across Britain's home front. Some we were only just uncovering, and many we will probably never learn about. So why floating cows? The Lake District is a very distinctive geographic location and would be very easy to spot on a map. The thought was that they needed to prevent any German planes flying ahead from using that noticeable land feature to locate themselves or to use the lakes to direct their path. The Luftwaffe was the German Air Force. Not all German planes flew over the channel to drop bombs. Many were actually able to fly undetected in an attempt to scout out potential bombing targets or to gather intelligence. Along with the Lake District, they also disguised landmarks, monuments, and well-known sites that could be easily targeted. By 1940, camouflage and deception departments were a staple for the Air Force, the Naval Force, and the Army. There were also attempts to camouflage real bases and airfields, or attempts to hide numerous vehicles. One of the best deceptive methods was known as Britain's fake army. This consisted of trying to look like you have more weapons and more vehicles and more people than you really do. They would build structures or outlines or even just painted something that wasn't actually there. This was done with plastic, wood, canvas, and numerous other materials. My favourite example of this is inflatables, such as this tank. This ghost army was sent into France in World War II, where they utilised these inflatable tanks, sound recordings, fake radio transmissions, scripts, fake documents, and even just whispering fake conversations to confuse and lead astray the enemy. Back at home, they were implementing similar schemes. Quite opposite to hiding existing bases and airports, they also used similar tactics to create fake bases and airports to create illusions of strength and supply. Here is an example of some of the wooden airplanes and cheaply constructed airports. And they also created fake bases, such as this one in Edinburgh Castle, which made it look like a whole extra army was camped out waiting to be called up to the front lines. The best thing about these structures was that since it was pretending to be stationed when it was actually empty, if the Germans did target this well-equipped air base, no one would actually be injured and no planes were destroyed. This is also seen as a threat of a home and land attack, especially during the Battle of Britain and the period of the D-Day invasions, when the Germans were just a stone's throw away across the Channel. Understandably, many were concerned about an imminent German invasion. The British Home Guard would also hide and remove street names, any directional markers, town names, and some plaques. Pretty much anything that would help a German spy from getting around easily. Defensive boxes were also created called pillboxes across the entire country for the Home Guard, or really anyone who was left in Britain, to help defend the homeland. This was basically a well-constructed box that would give the defence the advantage in an attack. And some of these were disguised as old cottages, barns, or hills and burrows. All of these tactics were just a few of the incredible ways disguise and camouflage were used across Britain during the war period. We tend to focus on the really big battles and events in history, but it's also interesting to dig up all of the behind the scenes and things that almost happened. And it's incredible to think that Britain's ghost army did not participate in any battle, but all of these deceptive tactics likely saved hundreds and thousands of lives. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more Chit Chat history, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.